Hello everyone, let me walk you through what the lab's going to be like for this week, and I wanted to start off with a little bit of a review. Here's the equation for weight. So that is the force of gravity on an object is equal to the mass of that object times g. Now we're on the surface of Earth, so that's going to be 9.8. So for instance, I have this block that I want to know what the weight is. So we put it on this scale and it tells us the mass of the object. So this is 2.8 kilograms. So to get its weight, I can just take its mass, so it's 2.8, multiplied by g, which is 9.8, and we get a weight of 27.4 newtons. Now the simulation we're going to use is going to tell us volumes in units of liters, but we need it to be in meter cubed because that is what we're going to use in our equations. And there's a very easy conversion. 1 liter is equal to 0.001 meter cubed. And the density equation is the mass of the object divided by the volume. So again, mass is in kilograms and volume must be in meter cubed. So the buoyant force acting on an object is equal to rho Vg. Now this rho is not the density of the object, it's the density of the fluid. This simulation is going to be in fresh water, so we're going to use 1,000 kilogram per meter cubed. V is the volume of water displaced. So if the object is fully underwater, that's just the volume of the object. But if it's floating, that's just the volume that is displaced by the object. And then G again is 9.8. And the apparent weight equation, so how much it feels like something weighs underwater, is equal to its actual weight, the force of gravity hasn't changed, minus the buoyant force. Use this equation here. So in this lab, what we're going to do is we're going to use this simulation, and we're going to be picking up blocks that I'll show you in a minute. And then you're going to answer questions along the way in the module. So pull up those questions first, and then you can go to the simulation and kind of go down one by one. It'll walk you through the experiments that you're going to be doing in order to answer those questions. So let me show you what that looks like. When you go to the link, you're going to end up here. We're going to click on mystery. You click that twice. And back here to that image before. Now we can pick these objects up and kind of place them around. One of the things we're going to do here on the left is this scale. So we'll place it on the scale and we can measure how much mass it is. And then you'll notice that the water is at 100 liters to start with. So when I put an object in there, now it's at 105.5. So the amount of water that this displaces is 5.5 liters, not 100.5, but 5.5. So it goes back to 100, whatever object we put in here. So here, this is floating. So the displaced water is 0.4 liters here. And so you'll be putting objects in here, but be sure when you're measuring this number that you only have one object in there. Otherwise, you're going to get the water displaced from all the objects that are in there. If you ever need to refresh in the bottom right-hand corner, you can click this refresh button. It'll take you back to what it was before. And sometimes I have you stack stuff on top of each other, so you can kind of move them around. Oops, that's a little too heavy. And you can kind of see what's going on there. All right, go ahead and head to the module, pull up those questions in this simulation. Let's get started.